A's Extra.
Welcome back on the Anglers Extra pregame show. Game 9 of the Chatham A's season is coming up, and the A's are back home after the day off to take on the Bourne Braves. It's time for the Manager's Show. I'm Jake Klein, alongside the Chatham manager, Dennis Cook. Dennis, you had the off day to think back on the 9-1 win over Hyannis. What did you like about that performance from your team?
I thought it was good in every aspect of the game. We played great defense. Oliver gave us a great start, pounded the strike zone, worked fast, and we hit the ball well. So it was a good win for us and a good game. Competed hard and was proud of him.
I know you've loved what Oliver Pudvar has given you so far. Specifically, as you mentioned there, the fact that he works fast. Why does that stand out to you? I
just think it's a mindset. He's attacking and aggressive, and he's a pitcher. I really like him.
When you say he's a pitcher, what does that mean?
He throws strikes. He mixes well. He doesn't overpower people, but he has enough on his fastball to make them respect it. I think he is. For me, he would be a pro prospect because I think he pitches enough and he has enough velocity to get him through.
Is there times where you see a performance like that and you talk to the rest of the team?
No. They're watching the game just like I am. They don't need me telling them, you work fast, mix, and throw strikes, you're going to be successful. They can see that with their own eyes.
Home run for Cooper Neville, the third of the season for your team. What has Cooper brought to this lineup?
Cooper's brought tremendous defense, and he's starting to hit. His last 4 or 5 games has really been an offensive weapon. So he brings a great attitude to the ballpark, too, every day. He's a great kid. He's a mature kid. He pulls for his teammates. I'm glad we have Cooper on our team.
We talked the other day about the transition that this offense has made, settling in with the wood bats against live pitching again. How about the bullpen? Because I know that was a point of frustration for you earlier in the season. What have you seen from them lately?
Well, they're still competing hard and getting after it. We're gonna probably mix and match a whole lot more than we did early. And then, give the guys opportunity to pitch, and some of those guys down there are draft eligible, so they're running out of chances, to impress the scouts. So we're going to keep running them out there, let them impress the scouts as much as possible, and then we're going to bring a new crew in, as was to the plan before the season started.
What goes into your decisions on which pitcher to bring out of the bullpen in what situation? You're looking at righty-righty, lefty-lefty matchups. What kind of things are you thinking about?
Yeah, we do that. We do the matchup stuff. But just also who can, if it's early in the game, who can give us length? Who's more of a one inning pitcher? We kind of categorize them that way, and just that a lot of it's just gut feeling too. The kids need to work, so we try to be consistent in giving them all the work that we possibly can, and it's hard to do that with your starters going 5 and 6 innings. But I'm not going to complain about that because that's just part of it. And as a relief pitcher, you better be ready to go when your name's called.
It's the Manager's Show with Dennis Cook before Chatham hosts Bourne at Veterans Field. One of those guys who went 5 innings in his last start is tonight's starter, Angel Cervantes. Obviously going to be hard to top what he did in his first start against Yarmouth Dennis, but what are you looking out for when Angel takes the mound tonight?
Angel's going to throw a lot of strikes. He's going to mix, and he's going to compete hard. He's kind of has a professional mindset. He wants to do this for a living, and you can tell the way he goes about his business, and I don't know what the results are going to be, but I do know this, that he'll be prepared and he'll go out and compete hard.
I imagine, as usual, your off day was spent on the phone with a lot of different people. How is the state of the Chatham A's roster right now as we approach the kind of July 4th turnover time in the Cape League?
Yeah, it gets hectic this time of year. The hard part is having to tell the kids, we're bringing somebody else in. That's the hardest part of my job. But I had a guy I talked to that's in pro ball yesterday. I talked to him, and he goes, Dennis, just think of it this way. You're doing them a favor because sooner or later they're going to be told that everything is over, whether that's in pro ball or at the end of their college career. So, look at it as you're preparing them for what's coming down the road. So, some of the kids we're sending home are good players. They're just, they're draft eligible, and that was the plan from the very beginning. So, they're talented kids, but we got talented kids coming in too that we've signed, and we owe them an opportunity also.
As some start to leave and others come in, how important are the players who do stay the whole way to the team as the year goes on?
Well, I think, you ask people like Daniel Jackson, Jake Henley, those guys. Those guys stayed all last year, Duke Stone. And you go back and you look at their college year after, it's pretty good. And it's really not anything that we did for them. It's just they come in here and they figure out who they are as players, and they bring a tremendous amount of confidence from the Cape back to their fall, and then build more confidence in the fall and carry it on to the spring.
Lastly, Dennis, I've been looking at the weather app a lot today. It's been pretty much wrong all day. Have you walked around on the field as it's cloudy here in Chatham? What do you think?
I think we're going to get it in as long as we don't get a downpour. The field's in pretty good shape, and might play a little bit slower because it's a little bit damp, but I think we're going to be good to go.
There's Dennis Cook on the Manager's Show. A's and Braves coming up in just a couple of minutes. Dennis, thanks for the time.